Hey, welcome back into my kitchen. Tonight we are gonna take a trip down Sweet Road and whip up a batch of delicious, giant, chewy, soft baked chocolate chip marshmallow cookies. That's a mouthful right there. And that's what you're gonna get when you're hanging out with John. Should I rephrase that? This is a really simple recipe. It takes about 10 minutes to make, 10 minutes to bake, and you're ready to party. And I think if you're the type of person that likes that soft, chewy cookie, you're gonna love this recipe. So stick around! But before we make this recipe, please do me a favor. Check out Mockingbird's Patreon page because I'd really love to start getting more people supporting the farm through that platform. It's a great way to support Mockingbird, and as a perk, you get some cute little behind the scenes videos. So if you want to follow along with the farm and help support, please check out Patreon. And with that out of the way, let's make some cookies, my friends. Get up a little close and personal with this fancy KitchenAid with me, huh? First of all, I gotta give a shout out to Chris from the Vegan Zombie for hooking me up with these beautiful mini marshmallows that Dandy's makes. These are perfect for these chocolate chip cookies. You gotta get your hands on them. They're available all over the place now. Great company, great people, great food. Okay, before we use the mixer for anything, we are gonna make our egg substitute for this recipe. And to do that, we're gonna whisk some cornstarch in some water. Make sure there's no lumps in this. Okay, that's nice. And then to that, we're gonna add some flaxseed, ground up flaxseed. I'll have all of the measurements for the recipe in the description below this video if you're ever interested in making it. Okay, now we've got our flax and our cornstarch mixture. We're gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes. Got our all-purpose flour in a bowl. We've got baking soda right here. We're gonna put that in, and we're gonna add our salt. That's gonna be our dry ingredients for this recipe. We'll just whisk this all together and set it aside. Now to get started, you have to create a beautiful little chemical reaction with some butter and some sugar. And for this recipe, we are gonna use brown sugar. I like to use softened, I've been too soft before and that works out just fine for me. Oh, get all that goo out of there. Ooh, yeah, Butterfinger. That's a messy crime scene. Once you have your butter and sugar added, you don't need a big fancy mixer like this. You can do it by hand, of course. You can use a small hand mixer, but this is a fancy stand mixer. But hey, if you got it, flaunt it, you know what I'm saying? Let's turn this on. We're gonna use a low speed for about 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, once the butter and the sugar are mixed well, we're gonna add vanilla and we're gonna add our flax mixture. This is a point where I'll wanna scrape the sides of the bowl as well. And you'll wanna do that. If you're using a stand mixer like this, you're gonna wanna stop every once in a while, scrape the sides. Gotta get all those ingredients incorporated, my friends. Ingredients incorporated. Gonna mix this again for another minute or so before we add our flour. Perfect. Now we're gonna add our dry ingredients. I like to do this in half increments, and I mix this nice and slow. I don't want a super tough cookie. You know what I'm saying? Nobody likes a tough cookie. At this point in the recipe, I'm not going to use this mixer anymore because it's formed a loose enough ball where I can mix it with my hands and then fold in the chocolate chips. So we'll pull this right out of the stand mixer now. That's the consistency I'm going for. Almost like Play-Doh. So now I'm going to want to toss in some delicious chocolate chip morsels. This recipe calls for 1.5 cups to 2 cups. Make it rain. Come on, make it rain down. Get in there with your hands. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. All right. Let's form these into some delicious cookies. What do you say? We're gonna go with big cookies this time. So I have myself a 1/2 cup measuring cup here. If you got your hands on a large ice cream scoop, that works great for this, but I broke mine, so this is what we're gonna deal with. And basically I'm just gonna kind of get a rough measurement, pop it back in my hand, plop it on here. I'm gonna do some half cup sizes and some quarter cup sizes just to see what we're dealing with. Look at these beautiful freaking cookies. They're gonna be huge. And you see, I'm just gonna basically flatten these bad boys out with my hand. Yes, yes. Around the edges here. Okay, we got the oven preheated. Let's put these in there and then we'll do some smaller sizes. Alright, here's what they look like after 10 minutes in the oven at 350. Now, they're not done cooking yet. They need about 3 more minutes. But this is the time to add your marshmallows. And you don't want to add them at first because they will melt. And they won't be a part of they'll just be a really gross mess. But if you put them in right now, after about 3 minutes in the oven, that seems to be the perfect time. Push them down a little bit into the cook. These are looking yummy. I can't wait to eat them. All right, now I'm gonna pop these back in the oven for about 3 more minutes. Almost there. Ooh-wee. Look at these babies. You see a little bit of color on the outside. They might be a little overdone, but we'll find out. I'm gonna let them sit on here for a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna put them on a cooling rack. Look at these monsters. All right, there's the smaller ones ready to go. They're all cooked, just fresh out of the oven. We're gonna let them sit for a few minutes, let them cool, then we'll do the old taste test. All right, it's time for a taste testicle. Wait, those marshies stayed intact, but they're stuck to the cookie. You see that? They didn't melt and make a huge mess. Let's get this pull apart effect. Oh. Ooh. Time for a taste test. I love this recipe because of how chewy it is, how gooey it is. It's my favorite. My favorite type of cookie. Here's one of the big ones after it's sat for a while. See, it's really cooked all the way through. I think you're gonna love this recipe, my friends. The only thing I might want to do different next time is maybe pop those marshmallows on about 6 minutes in, because I think they could have melted a little bit better. But it's delicious. You get that marshmallow flavor with that chocolate chip cookie. Thank you, Danny's, for making a delicious marshmallow. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the kitchen again soon.